Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for Ali, Ganesh, Sarifin, and special for Dr. Elvia Sauki for inspiring me to include the qualitative analysis in the quantitative analysis. A little bit far from the accounting and finance, but the contribution of the presentation is more on the method. So I'll try to use the mixed method in my research. So the title of my research is The Futures of Artisan Tuna Fishing Economy. The artisan means the traditional, using a visual ethnography study on the marketing value chains governance structures. So the governance structure itself consists of, for example, the spot markets, the options market, the contract, and the cooperative. So this is a few examples of the pictures. So if we understand about the artisan tuna fishing economy, it has the biggest support to our economic development because it not just giving more contribution to the poor reduction, but also contribution to the food security. And the small-scale fisheries in Indonesia is very big, yeah, and most of them are living in a remote area. Around 90% of the total employment in the fishery sector is comprised of a small scale and the poor fishermen. Even this survey conducted in 1988, but it's not really changing right now. And if you look to the data also, the tuna is the third largest of the Indonesian fisheries export. So it's a big money here, yeah. And also Indonesian position in the global tuna industry was fifth after Thailand, China, Spain, Ecuador, producing around 200 metric tons. But what is interesting, for example, if you come to the wet market in Indonesia, you can find that the tuna per kilo is only 40,000 per kilo of the tuna. But if you go to the wet market in Adelaide, for example, 1 kilo of the tuna is $40, so 10 times of that. So there are many problems why the small-scale fisheries cannot access to the international markets. And one of the objective of my research is to see what are the problems there. So, for example, like transaction costs in the artisan tuna fishing economy. Okay, so my study tried to identify various types of governance structures. Are there spot market there, or contract, or the vertical integration like the cooperative? And also to examine the role of the middleman, because middleman is very important in the artisan tuna fishing economy because they have services provided for the small-scale fishers. No formal institutions to support the fund for the artisan fishers. And identify the stages and governance structures in the marketing value chain, starting from the artisan fisherman to the processor and to the international. And to understand the agreement, especially the contract relationship between the artisan fisherman with the middleman, and to observe the visual ethnography to enhance the findings, which aim to bridge the gaps between what people say, what the data say, and what they do. So at the first time I conduct research, especially I have a mind about the qualitative analysis. So a little bit coming from here. So the focus of my research at the first time is understanding the transaction costs. Based on the transaction cost economics frameworks, there are three types factors contributing to the transaction cost. For example, the transaction characteristic like the level of asset specificity, human specificity, frequency, and uncertainty. And there are other frameworks that say that the trust and risk behavior also can influence the transaction characteristic in the middle, so that at the end they can influence the transaction costs. But most of the studies are applied in the agricultural sectors. No one has a study in the artisan fishing economy. And special to the tuna, I cannot find the research about this one. So I have a problem to divide what is the human specificity, what is the investment, what is the uncertainty there, what is the frequency. So I have to understand the context of the artisan tuna fishing economy. So I have spent a lot of time to just understanding the cultural context, the context of the artisan tuna fishing economy. So the first things of the model is using the structural equation model to analyze transaction costs. The second model is try to analyze the factors influencing the governance structure choice. For example, why the artisan fishermen is going to the middleman? Why the artisan fishermen is going to the spot market? But the question is, what are the governance structures in the artisan tuna fishing economy? Because it's still have no answer for that. So I have to find the dependent variables of my profit model. So that's why I apply the mixed method design at the first stage using the qualitative analysis to give me a better understanding about the concept of the level of asset specificity, the concept of the governance structures, but seeing in the locations. I've been doing some of the scoping studies. I try to get information from the informants about what's going on, who are the key players in the marketing value chains. But still, I need to find more information from there. So at that time, I also conduct a visual ethnography to see what's going on there. So in the visual ethnography, I use the reflexive photography. So I understand the natural context of the artisan tuna fishing economy. When I took a photo of the boats, I can understand, for example, how many members of the boats, what are the equipments that they use. So it's like giving me a stronger understanding about the instruments that I use in my questionnaire. And also I try to do, after that, the photo elicitation interview. So after taking a photo, I'll try to talk with them and try to discuss the meaning of the pictures with them. So, yeah, the Bernard in 1994 also stressed the importance to understand the cultural context. So this is a very sweet to my research about the traditional tuna fisheries, because my background previously is on the banking and finance, so I have a little bit understanding about the context. So I also conducting the participative observations. We interview with them, with the several key actors in some of the stages in the marketing evaluation. So I discuss with the artisan fishers, with the middlemen, with the boat owners, with the auctioneers, and also with the processors. So the research findings, this is a very important that I got from the visual ethnography and the qualitative analysis. I understand what are the governance structures that exist in the artisan tuna fishing economy. So based on the Williamson, there are three types of the governance structures: the auctions market, the contract, and cooperative in the vertical integration. But the exist governance structures is only the auctions market and the contract. The different things in Indonesia and the cooperative in some of the artisan tuna fishing economy, they just doing a role as the auctioneer. So this is quite different to what the theory said about the vertical integrations. So I also get more understanding about the asset specificity. What are the equipments that they use? Where they get the equipments? So the role of the boat owners are also being more important in here. And the contract relationship, I also get more understanding about what is the proportions of the sharing, and also the stages of the marketing valuations, who are the actors and roles of the middlemen. So this is some of the pictures that I will explain to you. So the types of the boats, that's very simple, but when we are being an expert in fishing, there are many types of the boats. Yeah. Yeah. And also from the boats we can see okay, time is up. And yeah, this is the auctions market, and this is the contract classes. And we can see here is the case-based transaction and based on the non-formal contract relationship. So thank you very much, Ali, for the time, and thank you very much.